Hello, friends. It's Monday night. I'm coming to you to talk about loneliness, being alone, how mood swings have to do with being alone, relationships have to do with being alone, family has to do with being alone. We have different brains. Your family, whatever their brains are doing, your friends, or the friends you used to have, whatever their brains are doing, whatever they're latching onto. And then there's you. If you have mood swings, you know loneliness. If you're maybe in your early 20s, you still have some buddies, possibly. You still have some people around you. Well, they love you. We can be difficult to be around. We are in our own minds 24 hours a day, even in our nightmares and in our good dreams. Let me talk to you about loneliness. I bring it on myself. I could have more people in my life. I do not. I bring it on myself. Probably just to keep things in line. Probably to have some breathing room. Let's rewind back to my 20s. I was doing all kinds of things. I was doing some projects. I was doing some art type things. And some of my closest friends were doing it with me. And I was doing my thing, and I think that that's a point. I was doing my thing. And I'd also like to point out that they're doing their thing as well. So then you put those together, and then you have mood swings, obsessions, anxiety, and possibly my friends were having some of their own situations. Still, there's this place in between that's not parallel. It's not coinciding with each other. So then there's going to be some irregularity upon dependency. And this is something that's an issue, a personal issue. If you have amazing things that you can do, and you can do this, you can do that, and then your friends are saying, all right, okay, this is cool. You already know where I'm going with this. You have your blowout, you have your bad month, your bad 6 months, whatever. And your friends are sitting there, hello. They're kind of plugged in. They're getting something from you. And I love some of my closest friends that I've had for many years, decades. A couple of them especially, and some of them are MIA. I don't even know where they're at. I'm not. They've completely detached. Their names are not even on Facebook or anything. There's nowhere to find them. I'd like to say hi to a couple of them. They're not even on there. One One really close friend I had from when I was a younger guy, he's completely taken everything off. I found his sister on there and say, hey, could you tell him I said what's up? She never even wrote me back. So, I miss him. I don't know where he's at. I value friendship. I value love. And the more I'm connected with people, the more frizzle-frazzled it can get, the more destructive it could seem. I cherish memories. I laugh here and there about old friends and thinking about things that we've done with each other. Sometimes I'm just elated by it, just thinking about memories I had with friends. All of that is important to me. I think back on family type stuff, and the more years go by, the less I think of family type stuff. My family was always doing their thing as I was doing my thing in my own psycho place. I know this is something that you are going at too, battling whatever, things with family. Friends you can choose, and friends choose you. Family, you're set into that. So if you don't fit in with your family, and your family's off put, they've been putting up with you, then you're not fitting in. If you have a family that's very set in something, and you're born a certain way, then you're at the mercy of your family's intelligence. You're at the mercy of your family's mindset. And if they look at you as a person that's unable or unwilling, not understanding themselves that you are, or let me put it this way, if they don't get that your brain is abnormal for 2 decades, 3 decades, you're probably not going to be getting on with your family too well if you have mood swings. And for the most part, it's going to be bothersome to them, and it's going to be pain for them, and it's going to be bothersome and painful for you. So some people are going to completely detach themselves from their families. Some people are going to stay within the families. I send my heart over to you, thinking about that, thinking about different situations people can be in. I've watched all kinds of videos where people are talking about how their mother and father never loved them for being gay or for being withdrawn from the things that they are very into, religions, whatever. And this all does have to do with loneliness. If you are by yourself most of the time, there is a construct to the reason why you are alone. It's not so simple that you just are. I'm mulling on. I'm bringing it out. I'm bringing it out here. Come along with me. If you have a brother or a sister or something, a mother, a father, you were born into that. How great it is if you can get along with 5 brothers, 5 sisters, five friends, a stepfather, a stepmother, a mother, a father, all together, and you can get along and have a happy time. Well, that's special. Because the stars have aligned, you're getting quite a bit out of that. Personally, and I'm going to go deep, and this is kind of personal, my perspective on what I am is a blur. I'm very familiar with myself. So the whole picture of what I am is really a blur, and it seems that everyone else is so quick to know me, and that reflects on what I think of other people. So, man, you think that you know me so well, and my whole life is a blur. They're wanting to shape you and form you, and they'll tell you all kinds of things. They'll play with your head. Not necessarily having your interest in mind, more so their interest. And this is a part of survival. This is a part of keeping one person's entity nice and sweet, keeping their flesh nice and healthy. There's different ways of going about that. People will eat at the flesh, and they'll also eat at your mind, so they can get more coming to them, so that way they can flourish their lives. And the more you are in tune with humanity, the more you're in tune with yourself, and you dig in, and you dig in deep. Having people away from you is one of the greatest gifts that you can give yourself. When I was in my early 20s, I was in a thing. I don't really want to talk about it. I don't want to say what it is. I was in a thing where I had to be around people all the time. I'm talking 24 hours a day. And I was put with people that I didn't have a choice who I would be with. For a long time. To me, it was a long time. Months, years. And when I got out of that, which was my own volition to get out of it, I was traumatized by that. Because I had to be around people that I had to be around until I took myself out of it. It was, if you're still in this, you have to be with this person. You have to be with this person. Looking back on it now, horrifying to be with a person that you are not picking to be with. And I think this is a very good point for myself and for my friends that are watching this. There's a whole lot of humans out there that you can be around. And you don't really have to be around any of them. Not any of them. And this is where you have a colliding effect from a malicious person and a compassionate person. So let's say you put a compassionate person with a malicious person. What do you think that's going to come about? You think that's going to be real awesome? Yeah. Think about that. Let's say you're with a person that's has apathy, and then there's a person that has empathy, a lot of empathy. Pair them together. How is that going to go? You get where I'm going with this? So this is where choice is relevant. Who you want to be around. And it's so sad that there's not really a whole lot of people I want to be around. Makes me so sad that I value so much. And this has something to do with a lot of grief that humans have day in and day out. And this is my opinion. Humans are spread out. And you have a human driving 50 miles this way and 50 miles that way to go do their thing every day, when everyone could be doing their things where it's good for them. That's not the way it is. That's not the way humans are controlled. If I want to reach out to someone and say, "Hi, I'm this person. This is how I roll. Do you care?" And you have every single person, day in, day out, just walking right past you. Yeah, no. Yeah, I don't care about that. No. That's me. Right here where I'm at. Floundering, if you look at it that way, if that's your perspective. Or flourishing, if that's your perspective. And then if I was to say, okay, this hurts so much. This hurts so much that I have my hand out as I am. And no one loves me. No one wants to be with that. Okay. Ding, ding. Okay. Well, I'll be what they are. And I will do what they do. And I will become what they are. So that way I can fit in. And I'm saying rubbish. I'm saying crap. Because once you do that, then they have your ass. And then they're throwing you through this and they're throwing you through that. And that's grief. And you've become their tool. You've become their use. And then you can equate this to, why is there someone that has a big house and why is there someone that has a little tiny house? Why is there someone with clean clothes and why is there somebody with dirty clothes and ratty hair? Why is there someone that has healthy skin and looks real well and prosperous, and why is there someone that's looking motley? My hand isn't extended to humanity. Humanity's hand is not extended to me. I have love in my heart, and I have darkness in my heart. I have both. Do I want to go and step on the neck of another human being? Do I wake up every day saying, I could have a Lamborghini if I go and I fuck all these people over here? Do I wake up every day saying that to myself? Do I wake up saying to myself, the person of my dreams that I want to have with me, you know, they won't have jack to do with me. If I do this, this, and this to get them close to me, what do I have to do that? Do I do that every day? No. I don't do that every day. Because I'm looking at the base. I'm looking at the very essence of what that person is in the first place. And I'm looking at instinct, and I'm looking at reason, I'm looking at why I would want anything to do with them in the first place. And this all has to do with loneliness. And this is something that every human could listen to take in. If they are wanting that dopamine reward inside their brain, that they go get that Lamborghini, that they go get that this, they go get that this, they go get that, they go get their nails done, they go get this, they can get what they want, they can get more people, they can get more people coming to them. Yeah? Well, what are you magnetizing? What is it that you want? What is it that you care about? What is it that you are truly understanding about this whole thing? And please understand that I'm just as freaking down below as every other human being. I'm in a conscious mind of saying to myself, all right, there's this person here, there's this person here, there's this person here, and they all want something. And what does that have to do with me? What does that have to do with tomorrow? What does that have to do with today? What does that have to do with them ultimately taking from me? Which is what all human beings are doing, is taking from each other, whether you want to admit it or not. You have a little more, you have a little less. Yeah, a lot of it does have to do with intelligence. A lot of it does have to do with what you were born with, the brain that you were born with, your capabilities, what your ability is for you to be able to do. And anyone out there getting their shoes shined, or anyone out there that's eating a delectable prime rib right now when someone else is possibly looking at dirt if it's tasty. You tell me if all of humanity is good or valuable to you in your isolated place, in your mood swing requiem. This all does have to do with loneliness. I'd say probably my loneliness is probably about, human-wise, 97% of my minutes of the day. Maybe 90% on if I was to average it throughout the month or the year, probably about 93%. I don't have any quarrels with race, with gender, with sexual orientation. I don't have any issues with any of that kind of stuff. I'm aware of differences in race. I am aware of differences in sexual orientation. Any of those things. I'm very aware of all the differences. Still, I'm open. Any person I could bump into, they could be flamboyant, they could be irresistible, they could be any of these things, and I still will look at them the same as any other person. It's not going to be until there's some kind of something that's relative to my interest where I'm saying, whew, I've got to talk to this person for a second here. And how rare that is. So maybe there's more to the mood swings than we realize. Because I could bump into any of those people on a low day or a high day, and it would be different. Absolutely. You know, when I'm manic, I've been looked at as a complete freak. And when I'm low, I might actually get more pity from people. I might actually get more response from people than when I'm manic. Because when I'm manic, I'm getting, all right, this guy's a freak. This guy's a freak. This is scary. This guy's a freak. Uh-oh. And I'll even get some reaction from people from sometimes like, what the fuck? I've heard that. I've actually been called a freak when I was manic. I was at Denny's, and they were in the booth behind me, and they said, "What a freak!" They said it loud, where I would hear them, to get my attention, so that way they could get something going their way. So keep that in mind too, as humans are always wanting to get things to go their way. Whatever the scenario is, however, wherever you are, people are wanting to get things to go their way. Look at the media. Look at people just lying, doing whatever, saying whatever to get things to go their way. You especially are going to be noticing this on people that are kind of desperate. There's wanting things to go their way. They could have all kinds of riches and whatever, fame, whatever. They're still wanting things to go their way. When you listen to me, you might realize that I bounce around quite a bit. I do. I bounce around. If any of this is good for you, you can relate to it, great. That's why I do it. That is why I do it. And I get a good feeling inside knowing that I've made a video or I've written something somewhere where I know that it possibly could be something that helps someone, or it's a seed that will grow. You know, if I could have an enormous village where there's freaks everywhere, you know, people that are shunned, people that are looked down on, it's just a village, and that's all there is. There's no one above that. Not a single person. We're talking thousands of people walking around amongst themselves. That's a dream. That's amazing, isn't it? I would love that. I would love it. It would be stopped though, because you can't have the defiled breeding walking around loving each other. They've got to be distinguished. Still, that's Shangri-La. That would be Shangri-La. And whenever I'm at the grocery store, it very, very rarely I'll run into someone that I can identify very fast that they have physically through the rings around their eyes. They're looking motley, the way they're moving, the way they obviously are schizophrenic or they're manic or whatever. I can identify this, and I will look at them. And one female is coming to mind. She was walking past me, and she was maybe 30 feet away at the grocery store, and it was apparent. And I was looking at her, and she was looking at me. She stopped, and she looked at me, and I was looking at her, and it was a moment where I was saying, hey, we're the same. We're both fucked up. And she looked at me, and she kept going, and she just walked off, because she had her own thing that she was doing, whatever. If she would have stopped and said hi, and walked all the way through the area over to me, hi, well, that would have been too weird then, huh? Not that we're all too weird ourselves. That's what I have to say about loneliness today. Good night.